I want to go over the Artemis reveal, the next validation vehicle, and some highlights that I made note of. So this is the one that will be going on the solar road trip, initially in California and eventually other states. Other states have not been announced yet. This so the next one they'll be building will be Gemini, and that will be used for basically the full weight of the vehicle, like the display at CES was the extruded aluminum. That's what's going to be in the Gemini build. So that would be the production weight, production battery, so that they can get realistic numbers for their range testing. So this isn't used for range testing, it's made for kind of a solar road tour, and obviously more validation testing with this vehicle. And they said while it was parked here, it was getting 430 watts in the sun, and this isn't even the optimal angle because you want this, I would think this facing the sun. It's pretty high up in the day. This was, let's see, this was about 3 p.m. California time when this was recorded. So even at this angle, it's producing 430 watts, which is pretty good. Well, they did have a little different way of the knock knock.
That's pretty good. Nice.
So we got a two-stage release, so it doesn't swing up like in your ceiling or some other obstruction. So it'll open like a little bit, and then you help lift it the second. So it's designed, the struts are like that.
Right.
So that's a interesting take on that. I could see how maybe some low ceilings it might hit, or you just want to control it the rest of the way. So kind of interesting. I'm okay with that. There's an emergency release. They moved it. It used to be on the ground.
Sounds like a normal car. Incredible. And you can normally select. Right. So there's an emergency release right here. So
that used to be kind of around here, and then moves up here. I'd like the new location. It's not enough. It's nothing you're going to hit as a normal passenger, but it's really easy to get to if needed, or emergency response or need to get in the vehicle. It's very obvious where it is and what it is. I got a full working infotainment system. The central armrest has storage now. This one here.
And pick that up a little bit. Got some nice storage.
right. Yeah.
And also nice arm storage, which you can have a seat yet.
So at CES, this is kind of like an open area, so I'm glad they have this more covered since there's no real glove box. You have like a small kind of thing for your registration and whatnot in there, but for actual storage, you'll have this and this in the car. And they did say the solar panels, as far as which ones are glass, this is, let's see if I can get to this. So this is the actual glass for the dash now. So there was a view in here, yeah, right here. So you can kind of see this is what it would look like from the driver's position. There was Aptera did reply to a comment about some anti-reflective process they can put on this so you don't really see these lines. But even so, it's pretty minimal for a really, really bright day. And then they have right now glass on the hood, glass on the dash, and they have glass on the top as well. It looks really good.
That's really cool. We'll be sure to update you when we got the full glass. But I mean, look how that looks perfect, doesn't it?
It looks really clean. It's kind of interesting how the back of this is kind of like grayed out. I wonder their design process on that, but regardless, really, really clean. And they're actually saying they're producing a little more power just from the glass versus the plastic. The hatch on this that will be done in a few weeks. And so the glass hatch will be done later. And they also said these are Gen 3 cells for the the solar panels, and they said they can just swap in the Gen 7, or so pretty seamless, and they would probably get a little more power out of them, which is exciting. 8-inch rear subwoofer. There's a trunk light and 12-volt plug. We've kind of seen that at CES. It looks like they did keep the Aptera logo on the back. You can see it right there. So I kind of like they kept that in nice silver font. Doesn't like scream in your face, but if people want to know what this vehicle is, they can just kind of look that up. So that's a good call to keep that. Full thermal system, coolant hookup for battery, cooling and heating, that's all done. The air scoop is still being tuned, still being tested. Um, Chris replied later saying that the air intake was drastically reduced from CES. It barely protrudes now, so it'll be interesting to see a closer lookup of that. They didn't show it during this live stream, but there'll be more detailed videos coming later highlighting this vehicle and all the work that went into it. So stay tuned for those. All the screens are brightness adjustable, the center and the side mirrors. You probably did notice that these are not the, I would say, official mirrors. These are the digital mirrors. So I'm sure we'll be able to modify them, I know I will, to just have these little pods versus the annoying regulatory uh, side mirrors. So Chris said there's just like 3 bolts and you just kind of pop in and out. So I will definitely be doing that. I'm sure many others will as well. There's a custom board for the screen. There's 16 custom circuit boards, the point of use controllers all throughout the vehicle, and they're all installed on this vehicle as well. That I'm sure some of you noticed that red emergency button. That's just for the validation vehicle. That's obviously not going to production. They just need like a hard stop for any validation vehicles. That's just kind of there just in case. Hornworks. So these are the 5 cities. So this is kind of their route. So they're down here in Carlsbad. So they'll go to Huntington Beach, Hollywood, kind of going up the coast, Santa Barbara, Fresno up here, and Palo Alto up here. So that's pretty good distance. It's almost 600 miles. I'm hopeful that they'll actually be driving this with it and not be trailering it to each one, because I think just having it on the road for that amount of time is going to catch even more eyes. So I'm hoping they just, bring the trailer as like a backup, but I'm sure it could make this journey through all these different charging points. I don't think they can use the Tesla supercharger stuff to use other networks, but I would hope they'd be doing this legit, just straight up road trip in Aptera and have some chase vehicles for support. And I would not be surprised if there was an Aptera fan club following them around. I'm sure that will happen. If not on this one, it will happen across the country. So that'll be exciting to see that. They did not mention when. I would say my guess would be later in July, and then maybe the nationwide tour, I guess, in August. So we shall see. Let me know what your thoughts on this. It's nice to see this validation vehicle done. It looks very sharp, very very polished. It also had in this. Let's see if I can find it. So you're just kind of showing there's like ambient light under each of the areas here. So that's in there too. And looks like they're sticking with the cork. It looks like cork down there for the cup holders. I do like that. And yeah, it looks very polished. I wish I could drive down there and see it in person soon. I don't know if that will happen for a bit, but preliminary thoughts on this, pretty exciting. Our delivery slots have been dropping a lot faster since this video. I would say a few days after this got released, it's been dropping a little more regularly, more chunks per day. So hopefully that continues and accelerates to the past. They're under 300 now, which is awesome. Let me know your thoughts and see you next time.